Big week for earnings. We have Visa and MasterCard both set to report this week, and they'll give us some insight into where consumers are spending. So we want to talk about what to expect with that. We want to bring in Dan Dolev. He is managing director at Mizuho. And Dan, great to have you on Yahoo Finance here. So we have Visa and MasterCard set to report. You have buy ratings on both of these companies, $250 price target on Visa, $430 price target on MasterCard. Why are you so bullish on these names right now?
Yeah, those are like the best days for both Visa and MasterCard, because if you think about it, what's happening right now is we're starting to comp like very, very easy compares from last year. And what you think about what happened last year, like the restaurants were closed, retail was shut down, and this reopening trade is going to be very, very powerful for them. So you're getting the reopening trade, and on top of that, you're getting a massive shift from cash to card, because a lot more people are using credit cards today than they used last year. So you're getting kind of that double benefit of both of those, helping both Visa and MasterCard. And then down the road, 3, 6, 9 months from now, you're going to start getting reopening. If you think about what the EU said today, or at least according to the New York Times, that the EU is going to open up for American tourists to come in. So this plus the cross-border revenue, which is tourists starting to fly, across the world, those are the best days for Visa and MasterCard, and that's why we're very bullish on both stocks.
Dan, why have investors not already priced all of that in? The news we got over the weekend about the EU possibly opening up, all of those issues.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. The issue here is that there's still a lot of worries about vaccines. You're getting news out of India, which seems, the situation there seems horrific, and you're getting there's a lot of, it's not a perfect euphoria, so to say. There's still a lot of skepticism, a lot of concern regarding reopening. There's some concern with Visa, with the DOJ. There's been some bad news. So I think while there's all this opportunity and all this growth coming at our way, the beauty of it, it's not all priced in because there's some concern, and you keep getting those, vaccines. Are they safe? Are they not safe? So it's not a perfect euphoria, and that creates the opportunity for these two stocks.
Hey, Dan, how much do you think for these results that we're going to get this week, how much of it is in correlation to the stimulus payments, the direct payments that we got at the beginning of the quarter? Do you think that's going to have a big impact here?
It definitely helped. I think what's going to actually drive results, if you think about the early days, the stimulus that definitely helped, sustain the economy or sustain spend. What we're expecting right now is the more discretionary side, the more credit card heavy side, which is travel and all the discretionary categories, hotels. That's going to kick in, and that a lot of it actually comes in at a higher yield, right? A higher price. They make about 10 times more on cross-border travel than they make on a regular swipe. So that thing is, while it's not directly tied to the stimulus, of course, if the stimulus wasn't working, then that next leg wouldn't have happened. So it's all tied to the stimulus, but it's kind of that after effect.
Dan, I want to take a look at something that's not going to hit till perhaps next week, and that would be earnings report from Square. And you talked about, and I'm not being rude, I'm just looking at what you wrote, that the purchase of a stake in Jay-Z's Tidal platform was an excellent fit for Square. Many of us would be in over our heads because there's also a Bitcoin component to this. Help us understand why you're pro this deal.
Yes. If you think about Square, everyone views it as a payments company, but the way I think about it is it's a real 360 kind of ecosystem that Jack Dorsey has created, right? So it's not just payments, it's not just P2P, it's your music that you're listening to, and a lot of people on that ecosystem are actually tuned into some of the songs in Tidal. Right. So what they're doing is they're creating an ecosystem and a payments ecosystem around this. And this is just one component of it. Bitcoin trading is another component of it. But music is very important because it keeps you more engaged with the app. So the more often you go into the app, the more likely you are to do other things. And that's kind of the magic that Square is creating around the Cash App.
Dan, you mentioned Bitcoin, so I also want to get in Coinbase because I know you just initiated coverage on that stock. You have a neutral rating on it, a price target of $285. And this is a stock that we've seen a lot of excitement around, obviously, since it went public just a few trading days ago. Why are you a little bit hesitant just in terms of the upside that the stock has, at least in the short term?
Right. That's an excellent question. So yes, it's very easy to get very bulled up on Coinbase. I know it's very it's very easy to understand. But if you peel the onion, we did a survey, and it turns out that there's massive overlap between the users of Coinbase, Cash App, and PayPal, and the Bitcoin traders on those three platforms. And 80% of the revenue that Coinbase is generated by retail investment commissions. So those commissions at 2%, 1.5% that people are paying to buy or sell Bitcoin, that's how they make their money. So the work that we did shows that if Square or PayPal decided to go into a price war and actually lower the pricing of Bitcoin trading, that would have very, very dire consequences for Coinbase, because that's 80% of the revenue is derived from that. And by the way, in the survey that we did, the second most important thing that people said was having lower fees. So it is top of mind for people to actually pay lower fees. And that's our more, I would say, cautious view on Coinbase. It's an excellent company, but I think there'll be pricing pressure as you move down the road.
Dan Dolev, great to have you on Yahoo Finance. Mizuho, Managing Director at Mizuho. Thanks so much for taking the